We're here tonight to have a chat about the support of miscarriage and early pregnancy loss. It's currently the Awareness Week, which runs from the 9th to the 15th of October, where people are encouraged to talk about their loss and share and talk, open up and make sure that people are able to talk about their loss. From my own experience, which happened many, many years ago, people didn't talk about things. It was something that you did alone, so that when things went wrong, you felt alone, you felt lost, you felt disappointed, empty, and it was just something that you dealt with privately. It wasn't talked about. The fathers weren't actually included, so that they also did it alone. It was at a time where the fathers weren't even present at the births of their own children. So things were very, very different back then. Now it is very different, and people are encouraged to talk about these things, which I think is very important for the healing process and to be able to move along. So I encourage people to speak about these things and seek support from others, and together we can make a difference.
Hello, my name is Smitha. I'm a registered nurse. Today is International Infant and Pregnancy Loss Remembrance Day. I would like to share some personal experience regarding a miscarriage which has happened to me 2 years ago. I was pregnant with my third child in 2017, and that was a really happy moment in our life. My kids, my husband, and everyone was so excited. We were about to get our new home, so we all were waiting for our baby, and the miscarriage happened at 13 weeks of my pregnancy. So this was a late miscarriage, which put me a lot of physical and psychological effect on the whole family. I didn't even know that what I was going through, and I had a huge sense of loss. My entire world was shut down. I was really depressed, and I lost my interest in work. It was quite physical strain on our whole family. There was a lot of unanswered questions. I didn't get a chance to see my baby. Even though I'm a registered nurse, I always work in the hospital. I didn't have the courage to ask the staff that can I see my baby, and there was so many unanswered questions. Why this has happened to me, where I had 2 normal healthy pregnancies and 2 healthy babies, and it took a while for me to recover from that. Nearly 6 months to come out from that. Although miscarriages are quite common in our society, 1 in 5 pregnancies end up with miscarriage. People always think that it's a minor event, and always underestimate the effect on the parents, and always people think that it's a minor event and you can replace that with another pregnancy. But it's not about that. You lose your child, which you are planning for a future for the baby. So all I wanted to say during this Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Day, that people going through miscarriage, you are not alone. You need a time to come out from that. Do not be afraid. Seek plenty of help. Give plenty of time to come out from that grieving process. If you think that you need a support, always contact the counseling support people, and you think that there is a lot of you can get support from the friends and family, and if you need more time to come out from the work, let your work people know that you need a time to come out from that. It's not about the time, it's just about yourself and getting back to your normal life after all this event.
Hi, my name is Deepika, and I'm here to talk about today the implications of miscarriage. Not only does it affect your physical health, it has a huge impact on your mental health, mainly grief. Grief is the epicenter for a woman, the mother who has lost her child. But it ripples into the family. The effects are on the entire family. Siblings who have never met the lost child, but the parental sense of loss is very profound. Everyone gravitates towards helping mums. not many people actually see the effect that it has on the fathers. Men's emotional literacy levels is what I'm here to talk about today, is very different to the women's emotional literacy. They basically do not have a toolkit to assess or express how they're feeling. They delay their feelings, they stay silent, and they will always play as the caregiver. 50 years ago, only females were focused on. The physical trauma that they had to handle, the psychological help that they needed, everything was provided. But today, it's still not normalized. We're still very biased towards women, but its visibility has been increased. Men are being given help as well. My message to the men out there, especially the fathers, is staying silent isn't being strong. There are different cultural dimensions that we have in our society. Men in our society work within certain paradigms in this culture. Traditionally, being stoic versus being weak was always important for a man. It is important to go through denial, to go through the anger, explanation phase, coming to terms, the point of acceptance in your grief. These are the negative feelings that you really have to express in your grieving journey. I'm going to talk to you now about the men's role versus women's role as a caregiver. Element of closure is very important and very significant, more than the loss itself. Closure is provided by the one who is coping well. My recommendation would be that counseling is important and hugely powerful. It gives you a transference to solve and move towards a resolution. This life-scarring event needs nourishment from your partner. It needs a solid relationship. Don't deal with it alone. Grieve, but don't make grieving as a competition in a relationship. Care for each other. Always remember the rule of caregiving. Give care to the caregiver. Thanks.
My name is Damien and I'm a grieving father. In 2013, I lost my daughter Amelia to trisomy 13, and that was a difficult time for our family because she was our very first child, my wife and I, and we were very excited to become parents, and we didn't know she was going to die, so we prepared a lot of things for her. We bought toys, we bought equipment, baby chairs, all that sort of things, because we were excited. And we did that very early on because we didn't want to wait. And when we found out she was going to die very late in the pregnancy, it really hit us hard. And I want to talk to you about the grief that a father feels, because we talk about the mothers, and the mothers do grieve because the babies grow within them and it's a different experience for them. But for fathers, we don't experience the same thing. And for me, I wanted to meet my baby, spend time and to get to know her and bond. But when they die, when you lose them, you don't get that chance. And in the past, you wouldn't have been able to even spend time with your child when they pass away. At least nowadays there's a bit more understanding, and we spent 2.5 days with our baby. And we made memories, we took photos. I wanted to remember my daughter, that she mattered. We wanted to remember. And so we did that, and people judged us. And some people said I had to be strong for my family. I couldn't necessarily show the emotion, or perhaps even a couple of months later, why are you still grieving? It's been a few months, move on. You don't move on. It stays with you. You just learn to live with it. And some people don't wish to express their emotions. Some men will really, toughen up. The way I grieved openly. I didn't want to hide how I was feeling. I did not wish to burden people with it either. But there are emotions that we feel. Sometimes I would be driving home and I would listen to a sad song about loss and I would cry. And I would cry driving home, and some people would look and they didn't know what was going on in traffic. But you have to let it out. If you don't, you're not dealing with it. And if you don't deal with it, it eats at you. And your child matters. They existed. They were yours. And that was hard for us. And to have a funeral, to go to the crematorium, to pick up your child, to celebrate anniversaries, which we do, we remember. The hard part for me doing this video today is that yesterday my wife and I went to the hospital because we're expecting a son. His name is Henry, we've named him. We're 24 weeks pregnant and our son has a terminal illness that is inoperable and he's dying. So we're going through the whole thing again. And the sad part is we know what's coming and we can't stop it. So we're doing the best we can to make memories and to honor his very short existence in our world. And this is hard because I have to support my wife, who is very depressed, and I still have to find a way to function as well. And talking to people and having support of others has really made a difference because you know you're not alone. So my advice to grieving fathers out there is to talk to someone. And I'm not saying you have to go and see a counselor. You can talk to a friend, you can talk to other people who've lost children, get some advice, and don't be afraid to show some emotion, to really just let it out a bit. Thank you for watching our video today. We made this video because we wanted to share our stories with you, our stories of grief and how we've dealt with that grief. And if anything in today's videos has helped you to be able to manage that grief, to be able to address it, to be able to support your partner and yourself and your family to get through this hard time that you are experiencing, then for us that gives us such a blessing to know that our hardships have given you some peace of mind to be able to deal with your own trauma. We talk about mental health and the mental health of people, and this month currently here in October is Mental Health Awareness Month. Part of that is the grieving process and getting through that. That is also mental health. So take care of yourselves, please look after yourselves, and never be afraid to express what you're feeling to be able to get through what you're experiencing. God bless you all and thank you.